Welcome to iCave Answers, where we answer all of your Apple questions that you leave me in the comments, I guess. Will there be an M1 Max Duo Mac Mini? What if the notch only appears when you're using Face ID? Will Beats be the basis of AirPods Pro 2? When are the 10K T-shirts coming? How will Apple address the trolley problem for the Apple Car? Will there be colourful Mac Minis, 15-inch iPad Pros, notchless iPhones, and AirPods Max 2? I'm iCave Dave, and I don't do the whole spiel at the beginning of iCave Answers. So let's get straight into the questions. Apple Tomorrow asks, iCave Answers, do you think that an M1 Max Duo in a Mac Mini will happen? If so, do you think it would be comparable in thermal performance to the iMac? Yeah, I do think they're going to probably try and put the more powerful chips in there. I don't see why there would be any issues, because the Mac Mini itself has probably got more space for thermal solutions than an iMac does, because the iMac tends to be pretty thin, especially if they're going to go anywhere along the lines of what they've done with the iMac 24-inch. So I don't think there's any practical reason they couldn't do it. The only reason that they might not is they don't necessarily know if there's demand for it, but I think there would be. Len Adams asks, iCave Answers, what if the under-display notch on the iPhone 14 would only appear when anything is utilising the Face ID? Now, I'm not quite sure how that would work. We have seen under-display stuff where it kind of hides. There are pixels that kind of cover a lot of the sensors, even up to the cameras, but in every device that I've seen where they've done an under-display camera, it looks like absolute pants. So I don't think that's the way that Apple will go. The other sensors, the dot projectors and things like that, I really don't know what people are expecting to happen here. Perhaps they can squeeze those into a thin bezel around the edge and then a hole punch camera, but I really don't even see the point of the hole punch cameras or even the lozenge shaped hole punch cameras. Why is it better than a notch? Yes, it takes up less pixels, but you're not doing anything with the 2 or 3 pixels above the hole, so why not just notch it? It just looks smoother to me, but I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that. Also from Len, iCave Answers, will some Beats be the basis for the AirPods Pro 2? There's arguably high quality Beats buds without a stem. So yeah, Beats does have their studio buds, I think they're called, and they are stemless, but also the microphones sound like absolute crap. And that is one of the big issues. If you want to have good microphones in an earbud, you basically need to be able to point the microphones towards the bit of your face where all of the noise comes out. That's the most important thing, really, is that's why they have these beamforming microphones and they have all of the other stuff built into them. It also gives a bit more room for battery, so you're going to get better battery life and you're not going to have a massive lump sticking out of your ear. Personally, I'm a stem fan. I don't think stemless is a good thing. Evan Rodgers asks, iCave Answers, oi, when are the 10K T-shirts dropping? And that's a very good point. Apologies, life got a bit crazy with job swaps and all that kind of thing. So they are on the way. I have collated all of the Memoji images. So it is coming. I want to say by the end of the weekend. I'm not going to promise it, but that's the aim. I want to try and get them done by like Monday for you guys. Arthur Swart asks, iCave Answers, how would Apple address the trolley problem or switch dilemma in the Apple Car AI? Would a TCAS-ish system using the Apple ecosystem be possible, where the car tells the probable casualties to move 2 meters to the left now using their iPhones or AirPods, and would Android then become lethal? Now that's a really clever idea, is actually to have the Apple Car shout to people that might be in the way of them. In all honesty, I think the awareness levels that are going to happen with these cars is going to be a lot better than people expect. So this trolley car problem is basically, should a autonomous trolley car aim for a large group of old people or one younger child because of the amount of years they have left to live? And, you know, would you... and the other thing is, do you actively take a step that would harm someone to avoid harming someone else, even if that harm is less? It's a very difficult system, and I think algorithms actually are probably better at it than humans. But I think the key here is that the level of awareness that these vehicles would have of other stuff on the road and other stuff that might happen, and preempting it would probably be to the point where almost none of this would ever happen anyway. We have the issue as humans that we have attention, we have an amount of attention that can only go so far, whereas with a computer, if you tell it what to monitor and it's got the capacity to monitor all of those things simultaneously, it doesn't get bored, it doesn't get distracted, it doesn't, while it's changing the music, take its eye off the road. So I do actually think that that is probably going to be the key, is that it's going to minimize risk at all points, whether that means it needs to slow down so that it's got more reaction time left in terms of stopping distances and that kind of thing. It probably won't follow anything closely enough that it could have a collision, even if that other vehicle stopped immediately. So I think that's probably the way that most of this stuff will happen. But I love the idea of the car being able to communicate to people's devices nearby and tell them to get out of the way. That's just a great idea. Len Adams asks, IK Answers, don't think we'll get colourful M1X Mac Minis, but do you think there will ever be colourful M2 Mac Minis? Honestly, not sure. The Mac Mini is one of the few things that doesn't really need as much colour. I don't think desktops in general need that much colour, although Apple threw every colour in the rainbow at the iMac. Yeah, it absolutely could. Whether they'll bother or not, completely another issue. I would like to see some more interesting colours. I think it would look quite cool if you've got like Mac Minis stacked up, so you've got like a desk with 4 people sat around it with their own displays and their own keyboards and mice, and then they've got a stack of different coloured Mac Minis in the middle of the table. I think it'll look really funky. And of course, iJustine will unbox them all. Randomness R asks, IK Answers, hey Dave, I bought a iPad 4th generation 12.9 inch 512GB for $950 with 11 months of warranty left, and it's amazing. Finally upgraded from an Air 2 after 7 years, and I was still able to sell my Air 2 128 gigs for $360 on Kijiji. Anyway, I'm wondering if Apple will make a 15-inch iPad Pro. Any suggestions on how they can make it better? And how do you use your iPad? Thanks. Cool, well, congratulations on getting a decent price for your Air 2. If you've got an Air 2 and you want to get rid of it, now is a really good time, because that thing is not going to be supported next year with the latest iPadOS updates. Now is the time to sell it, because next year the value of it will absolutely plummet. So just a quick suggestion for everyone there. In terms of a 15-inch iPad Pro, I really don't think they will. There's always questions about, will they make this bigger, will they make that bigger, will they make the iPads 15 inches, an 18 or a 19-inch MacBook. I don't think we need devices to be that much bigger now, but we said that about phones, and now we've got iPhone Pro Max, which is what I use. So go figure. Yeah, I don't think they're going to make a bigger one. In terms of my iPad, I've got the Air 4. That's my daily driver iPad. Really love it. It has been used as my monitor for when I'm recording, but now I'm using the Apple Watch because I'm using the built-in app. I use it a lot for documents. I use it for my music when I'm at rehearsals, so all of my music lives on there. I can annotate the music as well. I use it for watching stuff a lot of the time, so it's my YouTube device that I'm carrying around the house whenever I want to, if I'm tidying the lounge, I'll take that in and put YouTube on. But yeah, it is more of a consumption device for me still, but I also use it for note-taking, for Twitter, and I'll use Scribble to reply to people, that kind of thing. And also for designing T-shirts. If only I got round to it. Randomness R again asks, IK Answers, hey mate, my second question. When do you realistically think we'll get a notchless iPhone? Patiently waiting for it, and what features they could possibly add to the phone to keep selling them like hotcakes. My dream phone would be a 7.2-inch 1TB iPhone paired with a 50 to 60mm Apple Watch and an 18-inch MacBook Pro. Also, do you think that Apple will release a soundbar? Mine just broke and HomePods aren't loud enough. I'm using 4 HomePod minis. I wish they would make an even larger HomePod than the regular one, so I would buy 4 of them for the ultimate sound experience. Okay, there's about 14 questions in there, isn't there? Right, let's start that again. Notchless iPhone, I really don't care. I am much happier to have Face ID and to have all of the good stuff that you get from having the notch, having the dot projectors, having the face tracking so that you can do emojis, having a really good portrait mode on the camera, more than I am bothered about not having a notch. I really don't care about the notch. I don't think that Apple's even working that hard towards a notchless phone. I don't think they care either. Number 2, 7.2-inch phone, that's basically an iPad. That's massive. As is a 60mm Apple Watch. 18-inch MacBook, I can see them potentially doing, but it's going to be a little while, I think. Soundbar, yes, I think they will. I don't think it's going to be all about being the loudest thing in the world. I think it is going to be probably the next generation of Apple TV or something along those lines where it integrates HomePod and TV stuff into this Home OS that we've been hearing about. But yeah, 4 big-ass HomePods for a home cinema system. Sounds pretty good to me. And again, Randomness R asks, iCave answers any news on AirPods Max. I got a pair from Apple and love them, but they're too pricey. Hopefully the second gen will have more features and a 2-day battery life so I can justify the price. And now that they've just added spatial audio, I can't think of any way that they could improve the sound experience. How about you? Loving the show. So the biggest way that they can improve the sound experience will be lossless. We need to find a way that they can do lossless on it, and I think it is probably going to be like a version of AirPlay. I don't think Apple wants to go back to wired anything. Wi-Fi is enough to send lossless audio, so they need Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth as the way of connecting these headphones to devices. Then you can AirPlay to them, and you can have lossless, and it will sound awesome, and everyone will be happy. That's the biggest thing that they can do. I also think, yes, it would be great if they brought the pricing down. I don't see them doing that because I think they want to be into that higher end market, and I think it also makes AirPods Pro seem a lot more reasonable when the next step up is like double the price, basically. So I think part of it is being that Halo product, that this is the ultimate in sound, but also you can get a lot of that for about half the price with AirPods Pro. I think that's probably the reason that they are where they are in the price range. Anyway, that's it for these questions, guys. If you've got a question for me, hashtag iCaveAnswers down in the comments section, and I will answer it in a future video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.